Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to TTVNews with some last events in our province, and here are our stories today. On the 6th of September, Mr. Nguyễn Ngọc Thiện, members of the party Central Committee, Minister of Culture, Sports and Tourism visited and worked with the leaders of the Ninh province. Receiving and working with the delegation in the Ninh province, there were Mr. Phạm Viết Thanh, member of the party Central Committee, Secretary of Provincial Party Committee, Mr. Phạm Văn Tân, Deputy Secretary Provincial Party Committee and Chairman of the Provincial People's Committee. At the working day, leaders of the Ninh Provincial Department of Culture, Sports and Tourism said that the province implemented some tasks of develop culture, sport, tourism and family under the allowance of the Ministry of Culture, Sport and Tourism and the government, expecting to implement the resolution number 33 of NQTW on June the 9th, 2014, of the Executive Board of the Central Committee in Term 11th about building and developing Vietnamese culture and people to meet sustainable development of the country. Mr. Phạm Viết Thanh, member of Central Party Committee, Secretary of the Ninh Provincial Party Committee, said that in the past time, Ninh has always focused on tourism and cultural development. The province has also implemented well some of the contents such as recognizing Bánh Tráng Phơi Sương in Trảng Bàng District as national intangible cultural heritage, adjust to protect the cultural and historical relic site at Ba Đăng Mountain in the Ninh province, increase more human resources in the fields of culture, sports and tourism. Concluding the meeting, Minister of Culture, Sport and Tourism Nguyễn Ngọc Thiện highly appreciated some efforts of the Ninh province in 4 fields such as culture, sports and tourism and family. The minister proposed that the province should associate with some functional agencies to implement some contents as planned. The minister also gave some detailed opinions from some proposals of the Ninh province. In the coming time, the Minister of Culture, Sport and Tourism proposed the province should promote the value of monuments associated with tourism to embellish, preserve and develop. In particular, focus on developing foreign tourists and taking advantages of available historical sites. On September the 7th, Dầu Tiếng Energy Joint Stock Company held the inauguration of the Dầu Tiếng Solar Power Plant Cluster TT1 and TT2 in Tân Hưng Commune, Tân Châu District, an investment cooperation project between the Xuân Cầu Company Limited in Vietnam and P Green Power Public Company Limited of Thailand. It is the largest cluster of solar power plants in Vietnam and the Southeast Asia so far. Attending the inauguration ceremony, there were Mr. Nguyễn Minh Triết, former President of the state, and Mr. Nguyễn Văn Bình, member of the Politburo, Secretary of Party Central Committee, head of the Central Economic Committee, leaders of ministry, central branches, and leaders of the Ninh province and provinces of Bình Dương, Sóc Trăng, Bến Tre, Kiên Giang, Hưng Yên, Bình Định, and Ho Chi Minh City. The project, with a total investment of about 9.1 trillion Vietnam dong, is built on a semi-submerged area of Dầu Tiếng Lake, covering an area of about more than 500 hectares and installed capacity of about 420 megawatt power. The plant is expected to reduce electricity shortage and contribute to the economic development in the Ninh province, and is a new step in turning the province into a country renewable energy center. It is expected to provide a total electricity output for more than 698 million kilowatt power per year, contributing to reducing dependence of fossil energy firms and minimizing the impact of global climate change. Speaking at the inauguration ceremony, head of the Central Economic Committee Nguyễn Văn Bình expressed his satisfaction with the large-scale solar energy projects invested in the Ninh province, a pioneer project in developing potential development in renewable energy, solar power in the locality in accordance with the government's policies of encouraging the development of renewable energy, demonstrating the deep economic cooperation between Vietnam and Thailand. The inauguration of TT1 and TT2 solar power plant will contribute to creating jobs for local workers, bringing power to supply production, and thereby enhancing electricity supply security, continuing contributing to the Green Clean Energy campaign, is being strongly responsive by the community of nations around the world. And ladies and gentlemen, according to the Foreign Investment Agency, Vietnam attracted about 22.63 billion US dollar in foreign direct investment (FDI) in the first 8 months of 2019, as well as 93% over the same period of last year. Specifically, about 9.13 billion US dollar was poured into about 2,400 new projects, while an additional about 4 billion US dollar was pledged to existing projects. The foreign investor also invested another about 9.51 billion US dollar through capital contributions and the share purchases. During the same period, the FDI disbursement rose about 6.3% to reach about 11.96 billion US dollar. Manufacturing remains the most attractive sector of foreign investors, who committed about 15.74 billion US dollar, followed by property trading at 2.31 billion US dollar, and wholesale and retail at about 1.19 billion US dollar. Among the 103 countries and territories invested in Vietnam, Hong Kong of China was the largest investor at about 5.63 billion US dollar, while the Republic of Korea and Singapore came to the second and the third with about 3.48 billion US dollar and about 3.27 billion US dollar respectively. And Vietnam exported about 4.54 million tons of rice worth nearly 2 billion US dollar in the first 9 months of 2019, up to 0.3% in volume, but down about 14.9% in the value from a year earlier. According to the Agro Processing and Market Development authorities belong to the Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development. In August alone, the country shipped about 591,000 tons of rice for about 265 million US dollar. The agency said that, and strong growth was seen in Ivory Coast with 64.5%, Australia with 63.9%, Hong Kong of China with 43.5%, and Saudi Arabia with about 31.3% during the January-August period. The average export price in the 8 months reached about 433 US dollar per ton, down about 14.7% over year-on-year. The Philippines outstripped in China to become the Vietnam's largest buyer during the review period, accounting for 34.5% of the total rice exports on 1.46 million tons. Its rice import from Vietnam increased to 3.2 times of volume and about 2.7 times in value from the same period last year. Vietnam rice export to China plunged to 66% year-on-year and to 350,000 tons, pushing the neighboring country to the second position. And after 5 years of implementing the Directive number 14, the local budget's capital interest to Vietnam Bank for social policies has reached over 130 billion Vietnam dong, of which the provincial budget is over 113 billion Vietnam dong, and the district budget is over 16.5 billion Vietnam dong. Some district and city units have the local budgets entrusted to the Social Policy Bank bigger than the average of 1.8 billion Vietnam dong, such as Tây Ninh City with about 4.5 billion Vietnam dong, Hoa Thanh District with 3.1 billion, and Tân Châu District with 2.7 billion Vietnam dong. With many measures implemented drastically and synchronously of all levels and sectors in political system, political policy credit in the province has developed quite well over the years. And in the evening of September the 6th, the TayNin Economic Joint Trade Youth Unions have the Happy Mid-Autumn Festival program to award scholarships and gifts to union members and workers' children. Attending there were Mr. Yoon Dae-lok, Vice Chairman of Provincial Labor Union. The children can watch unicorn dancing and special performance. The Provincial Economic Joint Trade Unions and donors also donated about 50 scholarships. It's worth about 500,000 Vietnam dong to disadvantaged students to study and gave about 250 mid-autumn gifts to students and the children attending the program. It's worth about 150,000 Vietnam dong. And that's all for the news of today. Thank you for joining us and see you more next time.